everyone, Alex Dunn here, and today, inspired by my friend Kevlandia, I am going to be sharing with you some of the non-writer or writer-related, book-related YouTube channels that I love to watch. I think it's really fun to kind of hear what those of us on YouTube also watch on YouTube, especially when it's outside of our kind of core niche community. It's a great way to find new channels, but also get to know someone. And I realized putting this together, I watch a lot of YouTube in a lot of different areas. And so my disclaimer up front is this isn't all the channels I subscribe to. If I leave anyone out, it's not intentional. And my groupings are kind of almost not arbitrary, but some are more clear than others. Like Beautytube is a very obvious subsection of YouTube, but like I have some where it's like I have commentary separate from reviews and criticism, and a good chunk of the reviews and criticism channels are really film specific. I did the best that I could to group these together, and because there's a lot, I'm also gonna go through pretty quickly. But you'll find down below links to everyone that I mention. So what do I watch on YouTube? Well, I'm gonna start with Beautytube. This is how I really fell down the rabbit hole of YouTube and got low-key obsessed. So just some of my favorite Beautytube channels. I'm gonna start with RawBeautyKristi. I want to be her friend so bad. I know I'm not alone in this. A huge part of this is a lot of the channels I watch, I just want to like hang out with them, and Kristi is amazing. She just has this good personality. She's down to earth. She's funny. I can watch her talk for 45 minutes to an hour and it's like you blink and it goes by. It's about the makeup, but it's not about the makeup. Like, I don't mind her rambly chit chat videos. I'm interested in who she is as a person, and she recently announced that she's pregnant after 15 years of infertility, and she reached 1 million subs, and it could not have happened to a better person. And I feel like I've been along with her for the ride. Makeup specific, she's a talented makeup artist, but she's very grounded and accessible. Like, she feels like a normal person who, while very talented, is still a normal person wearing makeup for the most part. So I'm not intimidated by her. When she does tutorials, I definitely learn things, though she has a very specific eye shape. I can't do half of what she does, but I just enjoy watching her create looks. Next is another longtime sub, which is JenLuvsReviews. Jen doesn't get enough love on YouTube, so go subscribe to her if you are interested in her kind of sweet spot. Beauty news. She is really good at staying up to date. She does regular like news reports like a journalist on kind of the beauty industry as well as Beautytube. I really enjoy her live streams. And then Jen is just very smart and in-depth. Anytime she does a review, she's going to go super in-depth into the ingredients. She does lots of research and warns you if something is maybe not safe. Jen really goes in depth, she does her research, and you can trust that she's going to be honest with you. She does not pull punches. She's not going to positively review something just because she has a relationship with the brand. And in fact, where I gained an extra level of respect for her, I was already subbed, but she actually was doing sponsored content with, I think it was Lilsimsie, and she did one of her in-depth reviews where she really went into the ingredients and some of the products, and Lilsimsie didn't like that she was honest about a few of the ingredients and products, and so they pulled the video. And so she had to do this whole thing talking about how she wasn't willing to make the edits that the brand wanted her to make because that's not what she's about. I actually found her through a Paula's Choice review way back in the dark ages. She is the reason that I got into certain Paula's Choice products, but I stay for all of the good makeup stuff. I definitely learned from her and I trust her opinion. And I promise I won't go so long on everyone. I kind of started with two that I've been to sub to for a very long time and definitely have a piece of my heart. Next is Allie Glines. I really like Allie's channel because she has a calming, soothing like tone and way of doing her makeup. I have a similar eye shape, so I find her tutorials very helpful. She's definitely helped me decide whether or not I was going to buy a palette, also because we have a similar skin tone, like undertone, so I can actually see what things might look like. Our eye color is also similar. So that's just one reason why I follow her. She reviews a lot of current palettes, and I can definitely tell whether or not a product is going to work for me by watching her. We also have similar like combination skin, and she's just very soothing and calm and gives good makeup tips. Next is Jamie French. I love Jamie French. First of all, Jamie is hilarious and has actually announced recently that her content is going to go more in a comedic direction. You might have seen her go viral. The one that I love is her If Beautytubers Existed in the 90s video. Hilarious. She's done a series of those and then some challenge videos and whatnot. But also, I like her. She's like Kristi. I like her attitude. She's down to earth. She feels like a real person. She is a larger person like me, so I don't know, I can relate to her. And she has hooded eyes, so I can actually follow her specific tutorials when she does makeup tutorials, and I just really like Jamie, so I enjoy watching her content. Next is Nyma Tang. You might see a pattern here. These are some of the nicest people in Beautytube. I like the nice down-to-earth people who I just enjoy watching, and Nyma is an example of this. Nyma is just very, again, soothing. She's also gorgeous, so I enjoy watching her put things on her face, but I like her informative, in-depth, and down-to-earth style. I just enjoy watching her videos, even for products I'm not going to buy. She has a series called The Deepest Shade, where she looks at the deepest shade available from foundation ranges and basically reviews them and whether they're any good. And I've watched a ton of them. I just find it interesting in terms of keeping myself informed on the beauty kind of community. And so I really like Nyma. Next, I really love Tina Yong, though I kind of like vintage Tina. So Tina's been around for a really long time, and she's very, very good at tutorials. She hasn't been doing as many tutorials lately. She's been doing more kind of stunt beauty stuff, like Tina Tries It is a series, and I'm less into that content, but her eyeliner hacks video, I watched it years ago and it was really formative for me. I watched a bunch of her videos. She's done videos on like how to do K-beauty, and I've genuinely learned things from her videos. So if you're looking for good tutorials, I find Tina's teaching style and kind of how she films everything really clear and helpful. Similarly, Alissa Ashley, the other person who taught me how to do winged eyeliner for hooded eyes. Alissa is a very good teacher. All of her content is good, but I've particularly found her how-tos very helpful. And again, she's just got a great personality and I enjoy watching her. And then a smaller channel that I wish more people would find, Jena Froese. I found her, I think she did like a Secret Sephora Doesn't Want You to Know video, and she's been doing a lot of videos kind of like that, like beauty secrets, and for certain brands it's actually been helpful. Like she knows a lot about certain brands and things, and kind of just gives you her knowledge in a cute, fun way. She also does videos on like shopping the Sephora sale that I've definitely found helpful when the Sephora sale rolls around. Okay, I could probably do an entire video on Beautytube I watch. I'm gonna stop it there. I do watch more. But next I'm going to talk about Sims and gaming channel content. I watch a lot of this. I'll just get into a mood where I want to watch a quick build of someone doing The Sims. I'm more into that kind of content rather than Let's Play content, though there is one exception on this list. So my number one favorite, I want to be friends with her, but really she's more like a child. She's like my kid, and that is Plumbella. I love her northern accent. I love her humor. I love the way she edits her videos. And I trust her opinion on different Sims expansion packs. She's one of the EA game changers, so she gets all this content ahead of time, but I've generally found I can definitely trust her opinion. Same thing on another person I'm going to talk about. And I just enjoy watching her Sims videos. She does like history of the Sims kind of stuff. She does reviews, and she's hilarious and I really enjoy her. Similarly is Lilsimsie. She's definitely my child. She's even younger than Plumbella. Simsie is a master builder and I love watching her just build things. She has these save files where she basically refurbs every world in The Sims and every lot in The Sims, and you can download her save files, and I've played them before. They're fantastic. So I just love watching her side of that content. I love her like really niche, strong opinions about certain types of furniture, and she's definitely a good one if you like that kind of Sims content. I recommend downloading her stuff from the gallery as well. So next is James Turner. I don't watch him as much as I used to, but when I am in the mood for a Let's Play, I like to watch James. He does the Rags to Riches challenge every single time a new pack is released, and I honestly always peter out a few episodes in, but I still enjoy watching the beginning of the Let's Play, and then he's also a very good builder. I watch a lot of his speed builds and downloaded stuff that he's done. It's like just soothing content for me. And just a little like side drama, when we found out a few weeks ago that James and Dellagrassi were dating, I lost my mind. Only makes sense to you if you're in the Sims community. I literally DM'd Lizelle like you were the only person I know who cares, and I have to scream at someone about this. Sims YouTube drama. Not really drama, it's good news. And last but certainly not least, in the gamer channel sphere, there are actually ones where I watch standalone videos depending on the game, but like this is about my subs, and that is Lazy Game Reviews. I do not buy a Sims pack most of the time, also City Skylines expansions, unless I watch the LGR review. He is one of my favorite Sims channels going way back, and he's quite notorious for hating The Sims 4 and making a very critical video about it like 4 or 5 years ago. But the thing is, that critical video blew my mind. He explained all the reasons why I was feeling like I didn't love The Sims 4 as much. It's a really good video, but it's hilarious because after that, like he's really harsh on expansion packs and how much they cost. And since then, EA doesn't even send them to him for review, but he remains, I think, the best reviewer of Sims content. And I also like his City Skylines content. He's also done Planet Zoo and Planet Coaster content, and those are all games that I play. So I really rely on Lazy Game Reviews for reviews. All right, next is a miscellaneous category that I called craft/debunking/novelty, because these are all kind of random, but I guess they fall under that. So the first one is my most recent soothing obsession, and it's Royalty Soap. It is a Southern woman, a Texan, who makes soap, and she's just got this great Southern accent, and she's like dorky funny, and like she's got a sunny disposition, and I like to watch her make pretty soap. That's it. I honestly highly recommend it. Next is Anthony Youn MD. YouTube's been really pushing him hard, and I like his content. He is a plastic surgeon who lives in, I think, Michigan, and he does reaction style videos, but he's like criminally nice. He's really kind. So he's not tearing apart celebrities for having plastic surgery or people for getting bad plastic surgery. He's reacted to botched and stuff. He's just really kind and informational about plastic surgery, and so he's soothing, and I really like his content. So next, he's almost so big, it's like, should I mention him? But I've binged enough of his content, and that is Brad Mondo. I'm of two minds about Brad Mondo. I mean, he's huge, though when I started watching him was before he was as huge. Because like his claim to fame was doing reaction videos as a hairdresser to people ruining their hair with bleach. And I will not lie, they're great videos. He reacts really boldly. He tells you things about hair care and hair science, and you watch people ruin their hair with bleach. I recommend those. I still watch those videos. I like it when he does reaction videos. He did a series of America's Next Top Model makeovers too. I've watched some of his more like hair care professional stuff, and he even briefly did his own mini reality show. I'm less into him as an actual hair stylist. I'm kind of just middle of the road, but I do like his outrageous reaction type content. He also pushes his merch a little hard, which just isn't my bag. But similarly, I have mixed feelings about this next one, but I've watched enough of his content that it seems like I can't pretend I don't watch it. And it is Tristan Paredes. He's one of the many voice coaches on YouTube who does reaction videos, but he's one of the biggest, and admittedly, I do enjoy his content. Some of the other voice coaches who do the same style, who were clearly inspired by him, I just don't like their style quite as much, but Tristan is pretty entertaining, and I usually agree with him, and I have learned some stuff from him, though there are other voice coach channels where I've learned more. But regardless, it's kind of that subgenre, that reacting to kind of thing, and he's pretty good at it. Now for a breath of fresh air, next is the Kitten Lady, and it is a kitten lady. She fosters and takes care of and adopts out kittens mostly, and rescues very sick kittens, and she talks about kitten care and shows you, uplifting, heartwarming stories of kittens that she's rescued. But every once in a while, it doesn't go so well. So that is a warning. She usually has content warnings, but every once in a while, a kitten who is chronicled doesn't make it. But for the most part, it's just a happy channel about taking care of kittens. Next is Wendover Productions, who basically makes videos about planes mostly and logistics, and I'm weird and I really enjoy them. I love a good video on how USPS works or how transatlantic flights work. I'm weird. I really enjoy that stuff, and they're very slick production value. He does some on trains too. I just that transportation education stuff. Next is super niche. I stumbled upon this because YouTube figured out that I like debunking type reaction videos, and so I stumbled upon the roller coaster enthusiast community on YouTube. This is the beginning of quarantine, and for a solid month I watched a lot of roller coaster videos. So two of the channels that I particularly enjoy, they do some of those debunking reaction videos, but also just very in-depth videos about specific roller coasters. I feel like I know a lot about roller coasters now, and I really want to go to theme parks when they're open again. So the first is ElToroRyan, and the second one is GP to Enthusiast. So if you too would like to watch very niche but enthusiastic videos about roller coasters, definitely check them out. So the next category is shockingly small considering I know these are huge on YouTube, but I really only watched two and I loved them together, and that is true crime / history. And I've only recently gotten into true crime YouTube, and I really only love Eleanor Neale. So again, I'm a sucker for the super British regional accent. It's just soothing. It's got this lilt to it. And Eleanor is just a very gifted storyteller. The video I found of her first was the Lululemon murders, and the clickbait got me. I saw the thumb and Lululemon murders. I was like, what's this? It's 2 parts. So I basically listened to this woman tell me a story for an hour and a half, and I was riveted. She does do some inserts with like footage and pictures, but it's mostly just her telling you the story, and she's really, really gifted at it. I've watched a ton of her videos, and they're both informative and entertaining in a horrific kind of way. And then I've watched a good number of Defunctland videos, so they specialize mostly in Disney lore, but they've also done other theme parks, and they just do in-depth, high production value documentary style stories about Disneyland, Disney World, and the Disney kind of empire and kingdom, and I've watched a ton of them, and it feels like you're watching documentaries. Okay, next we're jumping into some pretty intense sections. This is all of the commentary / like criticism channels I watch, segmented into a couple different categories because I watch a lot, it turns out, and I didn't want to leave too many people out. So I'm gonna try to go through these as quickly as possible, starting with the commentary category. And these are channels, I call them just commentary channels because they do in-depth, pointed discussions about interesting things in pop culture, in our world, in their specific like niches, and I like their personalities. I either find them funny or soothing, and I just consistently like watching multiple of their videos. So the first one is actually a very recent discovery that I discovered via The Sims. It was recommended to me, and that is Amanda Elimian. She was recommended to me because she did a rant about how The Sims 4 is scamming us, and yes, they are. It's an amazing video. I ended up watching all of her Sims rants, and then she was ranting about like America's Next Top Model and about Beautytube, and so she's like a perfect intersection because she does beauty commentary, but she also comments on things like The Sims and TV shows I watch. So I've like recently fallen down a rabbit hole with her. Another really good one, he's kind of on a hiatus right now, but D'Angelo Wallace, a wee babe, like I see him and he's just so young and cute, but he is thoughtful, and I love the way that he approaches topics and edits his content. And he has 2 channels. One is what I'll call like his short form channel. All the videos are limited to 10 minutes, and he does a variety of topics, but the channel started as an art channel and it kind of evolved from there. And then his long form channel, he posts there more frequently and the videos are longer, and that's where he's done a lot more kind of in-depth takedown, so to speak. He's not a drama channel, but he has done really thoughtful commentary about things going on YouTube. And I just find myself nodding along as I watch him. I find him to be just very thoughtful and reasonable. And again, I just love his editing style, and he's funny. So I really like D'Angelo. Next is For Harriet. And so the person who runs this channel is named Kim, but the channel is called For Harriet. And she does some of my favorite really incisive content on the Black community, Black pop culture. That's definitely the lens through which Kim discusses things, and I just like listening to what she has to say about a variety of topics. So she'll do movie reviews or TV reviews, she'll respond to things going on in the world. She's recently been doing some interview content. Kim also talks about like class disparities in education, and I just know that every time that I click on one of Kim's videos that I'm going to be interested and I'm going to learn something. Next is Tiffany Ferg, who's kind of in a similar vein in that she does like longer discussions of pop culture stuff, but she does a lot of like current YouTube culture. She's done interesting discussions of like Visco girls and family vloggers on YouTube and kind of current millennial Gen Z like media culture, and I always find Tiffany's discussions really thoughtful, and I love that she's also talked about education disparity and debt, and just they're all topics that I find really interesting, and I like to see other people talk about them. And then the last two, they do a lot of thoughtful discussion and commentary, but they have very specific lenses. The first one is what Mia did next. I stumbled upon her at one point a few years ago. Her primary focus of her channel is ED recovery, eating disorder recovery, because she has recovered from an eating disorder and now does a lot of counseling and coaching. And I just find that she's just, again, I think a lot of the channels I watch, I like their calming, thoughtful discussion manner, and that's what Mia does. She does very thoughtful, incisive commentary on a lot of our beauty and weight and food culture and a lot of the harmful ways that we talk about our bodies, about recovery. She's really a great resource if you are someone who's in recovery, but even if you haven't struggled with an eating disorder, it's just really interesting to watch. And she just kind of has a warmth that radiates from her, and I enjoy watching her content. And last but certainly not least is Jessica Kellgren-Fozard. So Jessica is a disability and a queer advocate, and she just talks about topics that are relevant to her life, but she talks about them in a way, I mean, I always learn something, but I mean, she's almost a cheater. She's got this beautiful, plucky British accent, and I just like listening to her. She also does like vintage makeup and hairstyles, and I like looking at her. She's just really like cute and cool, and I like the way she talks about things, and she does a ton of content that is about kind of disability in our culture, disability education, disability in media, and talking about her own life, and I just find her videos really interesting. I hesitate to call any of these channels like educational, even though I do learn things from them. And that's the thing, I learn things from them because they have thoughtful and incisive commentary about their various like life experiences and lenses, and I just enjoy all of the content. Which brings me to the next section. Not that they can't be educational, these are also technically kind of commentary channels, but I'm putting them under reviews / criticism. Some of these are also film theory channels that go into storytelling craft, kind of, but I don't consider them writing channels. So the first one is Chris Stuckmann, who's just one of my favorite YouTube film reviewers. I love watching his reviews. He's kind of an auto click for me. I usually agree with him. He helps me decide what to watch. And when I don't agree with him, it's fun and interesting as well. He's just one of the best movie reviewers on YouTube, in my humble opinion. I watch him more than I watch any of the other kind of famous ones, and he's the only one I'm actually subscribed to. Next is Dan Murrell, who was on Screen Junkies for years and years, and he was one of my favorite commentators on Screen Junkies. I used to watch all of the like live chat commentary on their honest trailers, and then he left Phantom Entertainment to start his own venture on YouTube. So far he's been doing like some commentary, some reviews. He does the analysis of the box office, which I find really interesting. I always loved that on Screen Junkies as well. So he's, you know, getting started with his own channel, and I am along for the ride. And coming into the ones where these are like the less like movie review and more like I'm gonna put together a bunch of funny clips and have hot takes about movies and TV. There's a series of them. They're all similar but a little different, but I do enjoy them. I feel like they're overwhelmingly run by boys in college, so I feel almost like, you know, grandmotherly watching them, but I do really enjoy a lot of these channels. So the first is Cynical Reviews. He's done some funny ones about like Netflix movies, and he's British, and so you get the accent. The accent gets you every time. I will say every once in a while he'll have a little hot take that is a little bit incel-y for me, but I feel like he's young and on a growth arc, and I still really enjoy his content. Next is Karsten Rundquist, another college student, but he does just they're funny, but he also has some really just like interesting film criticism ideas. He does very slick, sleek videos with great thumbnails, and I find it really easy to run through his content. Jena Froese Productions, another literal person in college, so young, and his claim to fame is he loves DreamWorks animation, or loves but doesn't love. He's done a series on the Shrek films. He has very strong opinions about the Shrek movies. I like all of his content, and he has like friends who help him like make the sections. I like the way that he breaks down his salty opinions about the movies and does videos, so that's definitely a channel that I'm just very entertained by. Lady Knight the Brave, this is a new one. It's kind of small. I was recommended one of her videos, and she's kind of up and coming. And so far she's been doing a commentary on like some pop culture with some queer lensing, and I just find her content very well put together. So she's kind of one on my watch list. Let me explain the classic listen. Again, I enjoy a lot of his videos. I like his hot takes. They're well put together. See, a lot of these feel very similar, but they're like each a little bit different. I'm struggling to tell you how they're different, except to say that they all entertain me and have different viral videos, which was how I probably found them. And so they're just kind of like a mixed bag of all the similar channels. On to the more sophisticated end though. Folding Ideas is a really good one. It is definitely film criticism and analysis through a very kind of high level technical and story lens. He did a really hilarious one on the snowman, which is terrible. Like that's an example of one where like he did a bad movie, but I agreed with all of his feelings about that movie, and it's just an entertaining video. Then he's done like really more like in-depth and insightful ones as well. Swell Entertainment is a newer one, and she's less doing like pointed film criticism, but she kind of like went viral for talking about Lilsimsie and going to her taping. And I've been liking a lot of her content lately because she's getting kind of meta about literally being on YouTube. She did a really good video on Quibi. So I like her low-key style and her thoughtfulness about things. And then rounding it out again on the higher end of like really in-depth, high-level technical and story analysis, love me some Pop Culture Detective. He takes a really long time between his videos because he puts a ton of research and time into doing video essays on, you know, he's done like lots of videos on misogyny in film and television and in media. And he like tackles it from different angles. And I just love every video that he uploads. And then the great Lessons from the Screenplay, who I've recommended many times, and you could technically call a writing channel, but I have put this under like reviews and criticism because he is doing kind of film analysis, and yeah, I do use it as a writing channel, but for me it kind of falls under that like umbrella of these types of channels that I love to watch. My next category is music/musicals, but again, these are mostly kind of commentary channels. Starting with Todd in the Shadows. He should be way more popular than he is. He just they're snarky, but he knows pop music, and you can tell that he knows pop music, and so he'll be snarky about things that he really doesn't like, but he is super smart and thoughtful about things he does like. He's actually super smart and thoughtful about things he doesn't like as well. I like watching his 10 worst and 10 best songs of the year. He's also done specific pop song takedowns. I actually found him because like, do not hate me, Swifties. I find her earworms to be earworms, but she came out with me and I had this visceral negative reaction to it, and I wanted to find critical analysis of the song and why I might be feeling that way. And so I found Todd, and he has done critical analysis of a ton of Taylor Swift's music, and I'm very much aligned with Todd in his feelings. We're like, some of her pop songs are just these earworms and I love them. But then sometimes you like squint and really listen to it and you're like, what? So his analysis of me in particular was very, very good. He also did one for You Need to Calm Down and like other ones, but really like Todd in the Shadows. Moving into musicals, I really enjoy Amy Lovett. She is British, again, I love the accent, and she just really loves musicals. And so she does really cool like listicle style videos, and like she does advice for people going on auditions, and I'm not going on musical theater auditions, but I have a past with singing. I'm not that good, but I love hearing her like give tips for auditions, and she's also just like really nice and has actually interacted with me in the comments. And I always kind of love that. Like, she had a salty opinion about a musical I liked. I was like, well, I felt that way too till I saw it. She was like, that's cool, bro. So similarly, I really enjoy Catherine Steele's channel. It's got a similar vibe to Amy's in the sense that they're like fun listicle videos about musicals and then audition tip videos, and I like watching them. Then kind of an oldie but a goodie, he doesn't really post content anymore, but I regardless went on a binges of his stuff a long time ago, and I still find those to be really good videos, and that is musical theater MASH. He does videos on the Tonys every year, but I highly advise if you are a musical theater dork to go into his back catalog where he does like a more in-depth analysis of really notable musicals, and I just really enjoy that kind of content. And then last but certainly not least, I almost hesitated to put this on here, but I've been watching a lot of his content lately, but it really varies. And he's like huge and famous, so he's hardly someone you won't know. That is Rumi's channel. I like some of his music videos. Like some of them are clickbait in a good way and I'll click and I'll enjoy it. And some of them are clickbait in a bad way where I click on his content, I'm just like big shrug emoji, but still I do watch him. Next, interview channels. So these are like journalism channels, and it's only 2, but these are ones that I legit consistently watch. The first is First We Feast. It's the one where celebrities and notable figures eat hot wings and get interviewed. And it's notorious because Sean is an amazing interviewer, that's the host, and it is really fun to watch celebrities eat hot wings and kind of lose their minds. But also the questions are really good. I enjoy the conversation, so that's kind of an auto watch show for me now. And then this one's like a little niche. It's Build. So it's this, I want to say it's owned by AOL, if AOL still exists. It's something like that. But they do interviews in their studio in New York when we're not in this global situation. And they churn out pop culture and current media interview content. And I've just like sat and watched a 45-minute interview they've done. So when Unbelievable, that Netflix show dropped, they did like a 45-minute interview with the cast and creators of that Netflix series. And I just liked getting information. They interview people from Broadway and the music world and TV, and I find that they do really interesting interviews. Some of their interviewers are better than others, but I just like less like Today Show or like afternoon talk show, glossy pre-approved talking point interviews, and I like the more like in-depth, I'm asking you real questions and we're having real discussion about things interviews, and so I like a lot of the content on that channel. And last but certainly not least for this video, costuming and fashion channels, like not last for any particular reason, but just because that's how it is on my outline. Fell into a hardcore Makara Tours hole, I think in January, because I stumbled upon her The Little Women movie shouldn't have won a Best Costume Oscar video, which is very good, you should watch it. And then I just started watching all of her content, and I was just delighted by this weird Ohio life with pet chickens and taking your chicken to Walmart or wherever, Target or Hobby Lobby, Joann's, and I love watching her thrift and like buy fabric, and then like she's hilarious the way that she shows you how to sew. I don't sew. I'm not gonna make clothes, but I love watching her make clothes and her like frenetic editing style. She is a pure human and I really love her channel. And then similarly in the costume world, I enjoy Bernadette Banner. Bernadette does just very kind of, they're like high class, salty takedowns of bad costuming and costume design. Her specialty is historical costumery. She did a really good one where like one of the Chinese knockoff companies knocked off one of her dresses, and so she ordered it and did a compare and contrast. I love that high level salt. There's just like high key amusing. I enjoy her content and her style. And then one that I was kind of on the fence about including, but like I have found her content to be really helpful. I just haven't watched it a lot lately, probably just because I'm not shopping for clothes. And that is Glitter and Lasers. She does plus size fashion hauls. Now, she doesn't really have the same body type as me, so I can't always tell like whether something that works on her body is gonna work on mine, but I like the way she talks about clothing, like fabric, manufacturing, etc. So I have found her videos helpful when she has reviewed like Torrid hauls as well as Anthropology plus size to get a sense of like what is worth my money. And so like I found it to be a very good channel from that perspective, and I've definitely like found some new places to shop through her channel. So if you do like plus size fashion type stuff, she's also funny. So like I that's definitely a channel that I return to on a semi-regular basis. And last but not least is Haute le Mode, which is I could have put this in the like commentary criticism section, the reaction section, but it's really about fashion. And he just reacts to red carpet fashion looks, and he's very salty. And I enjoy his like salty opinions, but he also like knows about clothes, and so I feel like I learned something when he's criticizing these bad looks. And it's basically like the old red carpet shows where they would be salty about red carpet clothes, except it's a channel on YouTube. And so especially during awards season, that is content that I definitely enjoy. So obviously I watch a ton more YouTube. Even as I was going through this list, I was thinking like, oh, what about that? What about that? But like I couldn't remember exact channel names. I was thinking of specific videos, so I have to cut myself off. These are a ton of the channels that I watch on a regular basis. I tend to go in binge cycles where I'll binge a ton of content from these channels. So if you're looking for new bingeable content and any of this pinged for you, all the links are down below. And I encourage anyone else in AuthorTube. I was inspired by Kevlandia. You could be inspired by me. Do you want to share some of the non-writer booktube channels that you watch? I mean, Booktube will have to be a separate video because there were so many that I was like, I can't. But these are just some of the channels that I watch in my free time. Give this video a thumbs up if you like it. I guess I'll make more off-topic videos. And if you're not already subscribed to the channel, go ahead and do that. I post new videos 2 to 3 times a week. As always, guys, thank you so much for watching, and happy watching YouTube.